Congratulations everyone! Outlander is officially over and season 4 has premiered, and boy was it wow. I can't even talk, it was so exciting. So quite a few things happened in episode 1. We don't get to see like the aftermath of the shipwreck. We jump 4 months in advance. So now they're dealing with an issue where one of Jamie's men, Hayes, he apparently killed somebody during like the time that they were traveling through North Carolina, and he got in trouble and he's set to hang that day. So Jamie's trying to figure out if he can get him out, like he's trying to speak to him like, hey, we're gonna try to get you free, and he's like, no, let me just die. He just doesn't want to, I guess he just doesn't want to live with the guilt, and he figures like this is just how it has to be. And while Jamie's talking to him in the prison, we actually meet Stephen Bonnet, who is going to be our villain for the season, and the ending of this episode definitely cemented that fact. Of course, obviously the books cemented that fact, but as far as what we've seen in the show. But before I get to that, so yeah, we meet him, we get our first glimpse of him, and so during the hanging scene, Hayes unfortunately does hang and dies, and Stephen Bonnet takes a moment to escape, and he is successful, so that will lead to some things in a minute. So yeah, once all of that happens, they have to try to find a place to take the body and bury it. And it's a little tricky because there's like only so many places where you can bury bodies even back in that time. So they manage to find a place and they are digging a hole. And poor young Ian, like, we see him going through this really tough time dealing with all of the trauma that he went through with Galis and all these terrible things that she made him do and stuff that she did to him. Like, she was going to kill him, sacrifice him to travel back in time, even though, like Claire explained, you don't need to do that. But yeah, he's dealing with that trauma, and Jamie was able to comfort him, saying if you talk about it, then it helps to ease the pain. And it actually helps Ian. He tells him what happened, and they kind of connect in that moment because obviously Jamie went through all of that trauma back in season 1 when Blackjack was the villain and he did terrible things to Jamie. So now they kind of connect in that sense, which it's nice that they have each other to like lean on each other for support. So that part was nice. And this is something that I found interesting in the show, like, they're not just painting women as the victims in sexual abuse, but they're also showing that it happens to everyone. And that's kind of one thing I like about this show. It's like it's not just one-sided, these things happen to everybody. So I appreciate that the show actually acknowledges this. But yeah, sorry, just had to state my opinion there. So after they talk, Stephen Bonnet shows up. Surprise, surprise. And he makes them an offer, like, if you get me out of here, no harm will come to you. And so Jamie and Claire manage to get him past some British guards, and he does get a little leg wound, and while he's talking to Claire, he notices her wedding rings, and it seems like it's his way of making small talk, and it's pretty much going to be like leading up to this big scene that happens at the end, which, like I said, I'll get to that. So yeah, he escapes, he gets on his way. Jamie and Claire have their moment in the woods, we'll call it. And in the morning they see the land before them. I actually really loved this scene because Claire is telling Jamie, like, this is the land where so much is going to happen. There's going to be more states. There's going to be people from all kinds, like, from all places of the world, all in one place. And she's just talking about how promising the American dream is, and Jamie realizes that it might be something that he wants too. He and Claire. So it's just it's like this really nice moment that they have. And you can't help but appreciate, like, some of us are going through this time where it really doesn't feel like the American dream right now, and it doesn't feel like there's an American dream. But just to see, like, that perspective in that time, I don't know, it just kind of made me feel hopeful. Like, maybe if we can see things with those eyes again, think that way again, maybe we can find the American dream. I know times are tough, which I really like that the show acknowledges all this stuff. It shows how relevant it was then and how it is now. Things haven't changed too much, but at the same time they have. I love the comparisons. It really works and speaks volumes, obviously. But yeah, back to the show. Sorry, I keep sidetracking. So yeah, they go to, I forgot which town they go to, but they're trying to sell a gemstone because they're trying to get money for passage back to Scotland. And so they have this ruby that Jamie has cleaned up, and he's made it a necklace for Claire. So they're going to dine with, I believe it's I want to say it's the governor. Oh my god, I'm blanking. Sorry, it's been a busy week. I barely caught Outlander last night, and I'm just trying to get my facts straight. But basically, they're trying to sell it, and Claire does manage to find somebody who wants to purchase it. And meanwhile, Jamie is having a discussion with, I think it's the governor. And he's telling him, like, there's ways we can have, like, people here, we can give you land, you can do work for us. So it's kind of a proposal that Jamie and Claire actually do think about, and I'm pretty sure this is what's going to lead to Frasers Ridge, which we're going to see maybe in the 3rd episode, I'm guessing, I'm not sure. Just, this is how I imagine seeing it, like, next episode we're going to get to see Jamie's aunt, and I think that's what's going to lead to Frasers Ridge. Like, they don't want to live there, so they're going to take that proposal. But we'll see. So yeah, meanwhile, while they're mulling over that, we learn that Fergus and Marsley are going to have a child, which, as you guys remember from last season, Marsley wasn't so sure about having children yet, but she seems to have accepted the idea. So they stay behind, and Jamie, Claire, young Ian, and, oh my god, I can't remember his name. Sorry. Hayes' friend is what I'm going to call him, because I can't think of his name. They are going to go to Jamie's aunt's place, which is River Run. And, also, young Ian picks up a lovable character from the books, is what I've heard. And I can tell he's going to be lovable in the series as well. His name is Rollo. He's so cute. I want a dog like that. He's so adorable. He's basically kind of like a wolf, but some kind of dog breed. I don't know what he is exactly. Inuit, I think is how you say it. I don't know. But anyway, he's adorable, and I just couldn't stop. Like, I couldn't focus on the show. I was like watching the dog the whole time. So yeah, we have a new family member with the Frasers, which is nice. And so they're all on a barge heading to River Run. And Jamie gives Claire a gift. It's a little apothecary box, which is so... I'm sorry, just... How do you find a perfect gift like that in that time? It's perfect for Claire. She loves it, and Jamie and Claire have another sweet moment. Not like the moment in the woods, but talking moment. And so yeah, basically everything's seeming hopeful. We're seeing them heading to River Run to visit Jamie's aunt. Unfortunately, night falls and the barge is attacked by pirates. And guess who is leading the pirates? You guessed it, Stephen Bonnet. Yeah, he came back. So now we have a new villain. He attacks everybody. He kills Hayes' friend, which it's pretty confirmed he's dead because he cut him in the throat, so I'd say good chance you're dead, especially in that time. Man, I just could not leave Jamie his friends. Anyway. So yeah, he is killed. Jamie is beaten up really badly. And Claire. So, remember when I mentioned the wedding ring thing? It turns out that's what Stephen Bonnet was mainly after, which, I mean, that's kind of stupid. He's trying to get the rings from her, and poor Claire is trembling, and she's taking the rings off, but then she does something that we wouldn't exactly expect her to do, but at the same time we would expect her to do. She puts the rings in her mouth, and I guess her attempt, I don't know if it was to swallow them. Unfortunately, Stephen Bonnet grabs her by the throat, and he basically chokes her until she spits out one of the rings. And it was actually Jamie's ring that she spit out and he took. And she managed to save the gold ring. And based off of what I read for the books, it was supposed to be the gold ring that was stolen, not Jamie's ring. So, interesting that they changed that, unless I read something wrong. But I'm also trying to wonder what... I don't know what that key from Lallybroch was made of, but I don't know how valuable it is. I would think it's just metal, not silver. I could be wrong, I don't know. I don't know all of my facts from that time period, but it just seemed weird to me that he settled for that and not the gold ring. I don't know. If you guys have any thoughts on that, please comment, because I am genuinely curious. But yeah, overall, great scene. They have the Ray Charles' version of America the Beautiful playing in the background, which it's kind of a weird take, on the time period, obviously, but it's kind of like a song you would hear in Claire's time, and because you kind of hear her saying, this is a great country, this is going to be such a hopeful place, and then you're in this current situation in the 18th century, and things are going horribly wrong. It's kind of like the worst kind of welcome you could get to America. Not only have you lost your friend, but you're also dealing with pirates, especially one that you helped escape, and you're basically losing so much all in 1 second. And it's that's not what the American dream's supposed to be. But I thought the scene was really well done. It was great irony in the moment, singing America the Beautiful as all this craziness was going down. So I applaud the show because they're very creative with it. And they even had a whole theme about circles in this episode, because we saw at the beginning, this tribe in America in the BC ages, they were building their own stone circle similar to the one at Craignadoon, and Claire was giving a narrative about how people have always been fascinated with circles and how they've used it as kind of like a ritual, and she says some circles lead to good things and some to bad things, and that's when we see the noose that Hayes is going to be hung with. So I thought that was really, that was a great opening. And we see the circle theme continue also, because I think Stephen Bonnet and Claire actually talk about that at one point. So I just thought the metaphors were great, everything was really well done, and I am really, really looking forward to the season. I am excited to see Brianna and Roger, especially Brianna traveling back in time to meet Jamie, her father. I am very much looking forward to that scene. So we have a lot in store for us, and I am very excited. Yeah, just tell me what you guys thought about the episode. I genuinely loved it. I am very excited to see this season, and yeah, just what'd you guys think? What are you hoping for in this season? What do you think they're going to get rid of in the books and keep in the show? I'm curious about that, because I know they sometimes have to get rid of stuff to make it work, change things to make it more historically accurate, and they also want to keep it fresh because obviously if you've read the books there's no surprises, so when they make changes it's mostly because they don't want to do a repeat of everything that people know already, and I get that. I'm actually reading book 2 right now and I see how different it was, and I personally like what they did with the show. I get it because I watched the show first probably, but I understand everybody has their opinions, but at the same time, it's like, do keep an open mind. It's going to be different because things change. Even Diana has okayed the changes. Like, I believe in the show. It's really well done. And yes, season 4 is here. Outlander's over. I am very, very excited. Or should I say, vera excited. Alright guys, have a good night. Hope you enjoyed the episode and this review. And I will see you next week for episode 2. Bye!